Let's begin with the facts on the ground. According to Moscow's latest claims, Russian tank units have reached the western border of the so-called Donetsk People's Republic and are now attempting to push into Dnipropetrovsk. Russia claims that it's pushing into Ukraine. Bombs are falling at Kharkiv. The city of Dnipro is bracing for its first full-scale ground assault in over a decade of war. The Dnipropetrovsk region, a vital industrial and mining hub, is now in the front line. And amid this grave escalation, one voice has emerged not in support of Ukraine, but seemingly in defense of the aggressor, that of Donald Jessica Trump. He's managed the impossible, making Putin's propaganda sound almost plausible. This is not a minor skirmish, it's a potential strategic breakthrough. And while Ukrainian officials, including Andrei Kovalov, insist that Russia hasn't entered the oblast, the threat is palpable. Why does Dnipropetrovsk matter? Because it's flat, exposed and untested in battle. It holds Ukraine's critical infrastructure, energy grids, transport corridors and industrial capacity. Losing it wouldn't just be a battlefield defeat, it would be an economic collapse. Russia's incremental seizure of territory, 196 square miles in May alone, is methodical. And Kharkiv is bombarded almost nightly. Civilian casualties rise, and still Ukraine holds. And Trump, after Ukraine's bold drone strikes on 4 major Russian airfields a few nights ago on June the 1st, Operation Spiderweb, Trump said Ukraine had, quote, given Putin a reason to bomb the hell out of them. This is astonishing. Imagine blaming the fire brigade for provoking the arsonist. Operation Spiderweb was a legitimate military strike against strategic bombers launching attacks on Ukrainian civilians. That's not provocation, that's proportional response. Yet Trump parrots Moscow's line that this was escalation, that Ukraine should somehow restrain itself, its battered wife defense in global politics. What did Ukraine do to deserve this? It's not just insulting, it's morally bankrupt and diplomatically dangerous. Trump's remarks are more than careless, they are calculated. I don't know, if you've got a friend like Trump, why would you need an enemy? By framing Russia's brutal assault as reactionary, he absolves Putin of intent and responsibility. He undermines NATO solidarity, and he signals to autocrats everywhere that America's commitment to its allies is optional. Even worse, that Trump's second term, under Trump's second term, he has diverted 20,000 anti-drone missiles away from Ukraine, not to another ally, but to US forces in the Middle East. Ukraine is left scrambling to defend its skies as Russia launches up to 500 drones a night. Meanwhile, Trump stalls on new sanctions, skipping NATO defence meetings, and still hints that he could end the war in 24 hours. At what cost? At what compromise? Here's the truth. Trump's talk of peace is a mirage. In reality, it's a green light to Putin to redraw Europe's borders, and when Trump speaks of deal-making, he imagines Ukraine handing over half its territory in return for a temporary pause in bombing. But Ukraine is not a poker chip, and its people are not collateral. Zelensky has offered a 30-day ceasefire and begged for air defences. In return, Russia continues to bomb hospitals, hit kindergartens, and target children's railways in Kharkiv, a tragic irony given the site was closed because of security fears. Had it been open, the death toll would have included many more children. With a friend like Trump, who needs enemies? He speaks of deals while cancelling defence. He invokes peace while defending a war criminal's logic. As Russian tanks threaten Dnipro and bombs fall on Kharkiv, let's not pretend that neutrality is noble. It's abdication, it's appeasement, it's betrayal. The lesson is clear. Ukraine needs weapons, not warnings, allies, not enablers, and a world that understands when democracy is bombed, there is no excuse, only a response.